Mm. Good. I was going to say Wednesday. Good Thursday morning, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for joining me on this Thursday. Beginning with the sky cam look out in Bushland. Just take a moment and soak that in. It's been a long time since we've had a beautiful sunrise like this, and it may be the last one we have for just a little bit. So we had the foggy and dreary conditions yesterday. Today's the first day that we've had a clear blue sky around sunrise for us to enjoy that great big ball of fire that provides the heat that keeps us going. So, as we head throughout today, we're expecting a couple of things, but first, we are dealing with some visibility issues, especially in some of our northern counties. Texas, Cimarron County, dealing with some issues. Dalhart and Dumas also down to about 4 and 7 miles, respectively. But Guyman is going to be the sore spot with down to a mile. So if you are traveling, hitting the roads, especially on some of those farm to markets, give yourself a little extra time on the roads this morning, especially because you had some stormy conditions as well in some of those northern areas last night and this morning. So that's something as well to pay attention to, especially as you hit the roads this morning. So be sure to practice some of those safe driving habits as you hit the roads. Temperatures cooler in the 60s to begin your day. 63 in Clayton, 61 in Tucumcari. Carry a pair of sixes for Guyman and Vega, 67 for Amarillo, and the 70s expected in our southeastern counties this morning. 73 in Clarendon and 75 in Paducah. Taking a look as you plan out your day, the morning time cooler in the 60s will warm up nicely later this afternoon. However, we do have a cold front that's making its way through the region sometime late this morning, early afternoon, and we'll get a shift in our winds from the north direction. Now, the exact timing of when that front actually comes through and when that wind shifts will impact how warm we actually get in terms of our temperatures. But overall, it's going to be a cooler than average day, but it'll be a pleasant and mild one at that. Taking a look at our models, we put it into motion. Not expecting much in terms of storm development today. Isolated threats at best. I would say portions of eastern New Mexico are going to be the highest risk for some of those storms as well. Heading into the day on Friday, we'll begin with some cloud cover. Can't rule out some storms trying to make its way through portions of the Oklahoma Panhandle and some of our northern counties to kick off Friday. And like I said, take in the sunshine and sunrise this morning because come tomorrow, we'll be dealing with some cloud cover across the area to begin the day. We should burn off most of that cloud cover as we head into the afternoon. Temperatures responding nicely as best they can. Temperatures reaching into the upper 70s, low to mid 80s across the area. Now, the real conversation begins Friday evening in terms of storm development. We have a batch and cluster of storms making its way off the uh, San de Cristo Mountains off of eastern New Mexico, making its way over into Panhandles region. By the time we get into Friday, I mean, this is a solid line of storms the model here is depicting around 9, 10 o'clock or so, making its way through the Panhandles region from top to bottom, going from Guyman all the way down to Tulia. We could be dealing with some strong storms as well, making its way through the area, giving us a good heavy dose of rain once again. We've been drenched with rain the last couple of days, and it looks like we're not catching a break just yet. Heading into Saturday morning, we might be able to clear out of those storms and maybe even get a sunrise through the clouds, but we'll be dealing with some overcast conditions as we head into Saturday afternoon and evening. We'll be dealing with some additional storm development as well. Now, how much rain are we looking at in terms of the next couple of days? I mean, the model running through Saturday at 8 a.m. with Friday storms specifically, I mean, we're picking up anywhere between, I would say, a quarter of an inch up to an inch and a half to 2 inches in spots. Wouldn't be surprised if some areas picked up a bit more with some of the rainfall rates. We have really enriched what we call PWAT values. There's just so much water in the atmosphere that can be wrung out. So once those storms come through, they're going to have access to a lot of moisture. Taking a look at your severe outlook, it looks like the National Weather Service has recently updated this to add a marginal risk for portions of Eastern Union County as well as Cimarron and I think that's Oldham County if I'm not mistaken. That'll be a part of that marginal risk for storms. Let's see what some of those threats will include. I just want to keep you guys up to date with that. Yeah, looks like the risk for the marginal risk is mainly going to be for some clearly for some severe storms, but the main threat, 60-mile-an-hour winds, can't rule out some large hail, uh, isolated hail, and severe wind being some of the main threats associated with that. So we'll see what happens with that. But again, the isolated today's threat is fairly low compared to what we can expect as we head into the day on um, on Friday, which is where we could have that marginal risk expand over portions of the area. And that'll cover for half dollar sized hail, winds up to 60 miles an hour, as well as isolated flooding that can't be ruled out. And looking more at that flooding potential, today really isn't so much of a concern, but it's when we look at the day on, let me just find it for you. The flood threat as we look at Friday is going to be higher. And again, it's because of all the moisture that's in the atmosphere that some of those storms will have access to. They could have some really heavy rainfall rates that are going to be an issue. So we do have a medium flood concern for everywhere in yellow. So flooding for sure going to be a concern for Friday evening. So as you plan your Labor Day holiday travel, keep in mind that again Friday night is going to be an issue in terms of travel, whether that's by air or whether that's by car. Give yourself some grace. Maybe try and hold off travel if you can until Saturday morning, especially with some of those strong to severe storms making their way through the area. Get used to these above normal precipitation days and cooler conditions because the Climate Prediction Center isn't budging. I mean, they are calling for a 50% chance of above normal rainfall over the next 6 to 10 days, as well as cooler conditions. I mean, fall is just knocking on the door. We're not talking about, feeling 60s and 50-degree high temperatures by no means, but we are talking about cooler than normal temperatures, as is evident when we take a look at our 7 day coming up in just a moment. But first, as we take a look at how much rain we can receive over the next 5 days, anywhere, including the amount that I showed earlier for the next 36 hours or so. Uh, the Weather Prediction Center is indicating anywhere between a half inch up to 2.5, pushing 4 inches in some spots over the next 5 days, with all the rounds of rain that we can receive as we head throughout the weekend. Your highs today going to mainly be in the 80s across the board, couple of 70s sprinkled in there for some of our northeastern counties, and 90s the farther south you are to be expected. Lows tonight cooling off into the 60s. Again, can't rule out an isolated shower threat, especially the farther west that you are. Taking a look at your 7 day tracker, that cold front making its way through today, changing our winds to the north northwest. That could cool down our temperatures just a little bit as we head throughout the day. As we move into the weekend, starting with Friday, again, travel will be difficult, especially with those storms trying to make their way through starting around dinner time and slicing their way through the Panhandles region. Saturday, we continue with that threat. Sunday also, it's just rounds of rain throughout the evenings that'll be of concern. So you just want to make sure that you are taking this seriously, especially with that heightened flood risk as we head into the day Friday evening. Well, I think much of Friday will be fine. It's going to be Friday evening that's going to be of main concern. And then as well as we head into Monday, we've reduced that threat to about 20%. And then next week, temperatures try and recover themselves. So be sure to enjoy today as best you can with those milder temperatures and clearer skies, because by the time we get into the weekend, the gloomy and unsettled weather returns. So I hope you'll join me for our midday show at 11. If not, Matt will have an update for you guys at 5 p.m. I hope you all take